What did the popular kid at your school do to go from cool to an absolute outcast? Most popular kid in my middle school was this big Samoan dude. Looked like he was 13 going on 25 years old. I remember he gained a lot of popularity when he serenaded this girl in CL to ask her to the dance. He had music playing on his iPhone and he started belting out love songs while on bended knee. Later on that year he went from hero to zero when we found out he'd been molesting his sister. 0-100 real fucking quick. Oh god, hope he chokes on a straw. He is not a turtle. He was popular because he was a rebel that talked back to teachers and insulted them openly. He became an outcast because he made the teacher everyone loved cry. I had a guy in my CL do this recently. Nobody really talks to him anymore. Rule 1 of school. Don't fuck with the cool teachers. Edit. And don't be a douche to the not so cool ones. Most teachers are cool or were cool at some point. At some point he made that teacher not so cool. He hooked up with 2 of his friends' girlfriends. They ditched him after that. Edit. People are asking why the girls went along with it. This was high school. And there was a lot of partying and alcohol. No excuses. But for a lot of people, it was their first time getting drunk and completely wasted. Edit 2. One guy dumped his girlfriend for cheating but the other one didn't. I guess it was because she was his first love and childhood sweetheart. So he forgave her. Killed an infant in a car accident. Completely shut down during senior year. Wouldn't talk to anybody anymore. I had a cousin who died as a very small child because she walked out from behind 2 parked cars into the street out front of a church. A young man was driving to church and accidentally killed her. He never drove again. Ruined his whole life. Poor guy. My college roommate knew a guy that did the exact same thing. Accidentally hit a small child that came out between parked cars, and I think he may have even served jail time because it was, I believe, on the main road of a very small PA town and he was going like 5-10 miles per hour over the speed limit. I can't really recall because it was like 6+ years ago. She also said it ruined him. So very sad for all parties. Also, my condolences. Very sorry to hear this kind of thing happens all over. Edit. I suck. Today I learned young kids really do walk out from in between cars. I always assumed that was kind of an overstated myth. Because in my life of driving I have only seen teenagers do it. A lot. While looking at their cell phone. Sometimes in groups as big as 10 teenagers all at once without any of them looking. I was a PAger in someone's car when 10 teenagers, 15-18ish, all decided to cross the street at once without looking. The driver had to lock up her brakes instantly with 0 reaction time to spare and stopped only 2 feet away from the group. It was a 60 kph speed limit road with raised sidewalk and she was doing the speed limit. I can't imagine how bad you would feel for hitting an entire group of kids like that. Sent his girlfriend's naked pics to the whole school. Bro, what a scumbag. The worst part of it was the excuse he gave. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to send it to everyone. Just a couple guys from the basketball team. He ended up switching schools. Yes, still illegal dumb. There was a guy that was pretty popular. He got really drunk at a party and totally didn't know where he was. He pulled down his pants, squatted and totally started to poop. He moved away immediately. He was a senior and I was in 8th grade. That was well over 25 years ago. Well, he friended me on Facebook a couple months ago and I kinda recognized him. I racked my brain and it came to me. The guy who pooped at the party. Poor guy. I mean, is nobody else going to say it? No? Alright. Jeez. What a party pooper. Every party needs a pooper, that's why we invited him. Sometimes when I'm pooping at home in my own bathroom I think, what if I'm delusional and I'm really somewhere else? What if I fell asleep at work and I'm dreaming and pooping in my chair? What if I wake up and there's poop everywhere? It haunts me. Killed 2 university students while drunk driving and then complained because she wouldn't be able to go to the bar and get drunk on her 18th birthday. How shallow and narcissistic do you have to be to pull this shit? Fucking hell. There's someone further up who killed a kid entirely by accident and went into self-imposed isolation because of the guilt. pretty yucking shallow and narcissistic. Unfortunately, I know a girl from high school who hit a stroller while plastered. She had 2 yucking miracles happen to her that year. 1, the child wasn't in the stroller, the mom had pulled them out while talking to a friend, and 2, somehow the judge didn't hit her with the book and agreed to let her keep her license and skip jail with the condition of probation. No drinking and mandatory AA. She posted on Facebook, probation starts tomorrow, who wants to get plastered before I can't anymore. She didn't even make it 1 day. Whoa. Crack. He and his couple friends started smoking crack senior year of high school. They got quarantined to themselves. Ran into one of them a couple weeks ago. He kept trying to get me back to their apartment to do meth. Well, at least he's off the crack. He upgrades to crack plus. The iCrack S plus. Accidentally left a video of himself sticking stuff up his on a phone that he sold to another student. I never saw him again after that. Plot twist, he was just trying to hook a brother up and it backfired. Like quarter, toothbrush, Lego, or like remote, cucumber, dildo. One is for the audacity, the other for oddity. She tried to manipulate all her friends and pit them against each other with a bunch of catty lies. Well, that in combination with wearing her pageant sash and crown to school for like a week. All girls school. Was your friend Iago by any chance? The parrot from Aladdin? LOL, no, the bad dude from Othello. Drugs. You're the cool kid in 9th grade if you're smoking weed all the time. You're not the cool kid in 12th grade if you're addicted to heroin. Wait, stoners are cool now? Vastly different from my HS years in the 90s. Me and my friends were the potheads and we were definitely looked down upon the entire 5 years of high school. About half the people at my high school smoked weed, and this was in the late 2000s. There used to actually be a market for clean urine samples due to most of the athletes doing drugs. I'd have thought in Vancouver, in the 90s, in a school of 3,000 some odd students, that there would be more, but nope. Just me and my group were the ones. Funny enough, we didn't even smoke weed at school. Just an hour off ours. We got drunk and killed a family of 4 in a car accident. That's so dark. I know this sounds bad, but in scenarios like this I'm glad all 4 died. Imagine knowing that you've now left a 7-year-old with no immediate family or a parent with no partner or children. That in my opinion is even worse than all of them dying. This kid in middle school used to talk shit to everyone. He had nice stuff his parents got him and everyone thought he was tough and could fight until one day he started on a special needs kid. Nobody had ever actually seen the popular kid fight. He just was excellent at intimidation. Now a lot of the special needs kids in my area weren't just students who were mentally challenged, but had overall learning disabilities. Many of those kids came from very tough homes and the special needs kid who the popular kid messed with was an absolute savage. He grew up in a pretty tough part of town but was really a gentle giant. He could play football. He was muscular. He could do everything the regular students could do except speak properly, a minor speech impediment. The popular kid challenged him to a one-on-one fight and got his kicked by the special needs kid. I'm talking blood everywhere. His clothes got ripped. One of his sneakers landed like 10 feet away, and to top it all off he even tried running away after the first few punches. The special needs kid grabbed him and pulled him back. It was a rainmaker. The popular kid not only lost all of his influence but didn't even have the guts to come back to school for like a week. If I ever saw instant karma it would have had to have been on this day because he was quiet as a mouse the rest of the years through high school. A lot of the special needs kids in my elementary to high school were pretty regular, they just had anger problems. So everyone knew not to say anything too offhand. My boyfriend in junior high school told one of the special needs kids his breath was stale and he got his head busted open on the side of the building. I was friends with one of the girls in special ed. When she found out her BF was cheating she knocked the other girl out with one punch, and kept going. It was brutal. She was beautiful and smart, just easily provoked. Neither of them got suspended though. Edit. School administrator here. In the US, schools cannot suspend a child with an IEP, individualized education plan, without reconvening the entire IEP team, teachers, specialists, parents, administrators, nurse, etc. The team then would have to determine whether the behavior was a manifestation of the child's disability or not. If it is a manifestation, then interventions and other strategies to manage the behavior need to be tried to ensure that we're not unfairly punishing a child for something they cannot control. If not a manifestation, then the child can be suspended. After a certain number of manifestation meetings, then a child could potentially be outplaced to a special school. It's possible that manifestation meetings were held and you weren't aware of it. Edit. Schools can suspend kids up to a certain number of days before holding the manifestation meeting. Thank you u/Nelsonadrag for the reminder. Most of the administrators I know personally really think long and hard before doing so anyway in the case of IEP students, and try to go for less intense punishments first. Gotta give credits where it's due. That dude had speech 100. I was quite popular in the last year of high school too. We went on a few day trip to one city nearby and there was that one boy who was bullied by everyone, but I liked to talk to him. He was quite smart and is interested in many things I like as well. On this trip we became kind of friends. All the other kids were totally okay with me spending time with him instead of them, but then he wanted to talk to me outside in the middle of the night. There he told me many secrets about him. He hasn't told any of them to someone ever. When I came back into my room, all the other kids wanted to know what he told me, but I refused to tell them, cause they would have bullied him even more. They yelled at me to tell them his secrets, but I didn't. Since then, they hated, ignored or bullied me. I became the most unpopular guy in my high school. But that guy and I became best friends, and we are still. So totally worth it. I would do it again.